Welcome to FP Executive. We're here today with Sarah Costa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You have a very interesting story, Sarah. You went to do your MBA at the Laurier Business School. That's the University of Sir Wilfrid Laurier. And you decided to do that while starting a family, which strikes me as quite a courageous decision to make. Now, your child is 13 months now?
She just turned 14 months yesterday.
Just turned 14 months.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the Laurier program?
As of this March, it'll be 3 years.
3 years,
Yes.
okay. So you've been doing this part-time then?
Part-time for 3 years, yes.
Okay. And so did your baby come in the middle of this program, or?
Yeah, about midway.
Yes.
I just finished year one, and actually I got pregnant right at the end of year one, and
Okay.
so the following January gave birth.
Now, what sort of obstacles were you worried about? I mean, obviously having a child is, a great challenge, and getting used to having a new one in the house. How did you manage to balance your goal of getting an MBA and being a new mother as well?
Well, I have to admit, as any new parent, you don't know what you don't know, and you really don't know what to expect when you're having a baby. So before I decided, I thought I'm sure I can do this. Didn't know what the big challenges would be per se, but I thought that little time management would help. And mostly I just didn't want to postpone my expected graduation date. And so I said, I think I can do this. In terms of obstacles, I would say just balancing a brand new one while I'm still in school. And, they're pretty dependent upon you. So, who's going to take care, when I have classes, and, some classes you may have to be gone for an extended period of time. So how was that going to work logistically? But I have to say I do have a supportive family, so that helped. But those were some of the obstacles that,
How did the school respond? I mean, were you able to adjust classes? How did they help you overcome some of these initial obstacles?
Laurier's been fantastic. When I actually had my daughter, was the beginning of what is a 2-term major course project.
Okay.
And so it's with a team of people, and you would normally do that project in addition to another course. And so when I had my daughter, I said, I don't know what it's going to be like, so I'm going to reduce my course load to just take that major course project. I set up with a fantastic team to work with, and so I didn't want to lose out on that opportunity. So I reduced my course load. I only took that one major project course for the first semester. So that would have been January through to end of March. And then I picked up with a full course load afterwards.
I see.
Laurier was very accommodating. If I'd wanted, I could have taken a full semester off and taken no courses. But for me, I decided I wanted to continue with the team I'd already set up. And so, I did that, and then went back full time. So it meant that I was behind a course, which, again, Laurier was okay with. You can take 3 courses in one semester if you'd like, or I could put out my graduation date if that was what was necessary.
I see. Now you mentioned a fantastic team. How does the team dynamic work? How does that come together?
Well, some of the team members we'd worked with before on projects. In your first year, you're assigned a team to work with, and so some of you may continue in the same stream and courses, and others may not. So some we'd worked with before, and others I hadn't worked with, but you can start to see how people work together in other groups, and what their work is like. And so we just were a really good group that meshed together. And when you're looking at a project that's going to last over 2 terms, so that's about 6 or 7 months, you want to make sure that you have a good team that's going to be good to work with. And the group that I was with, they were fantastic. They totally understood my situation, that midway through the first month of our project, I had my baby, and so they were very, very supportive and understanding. So.
Well, that's excellent. Now, Wilfrid Laurier is located in Waterloo.
Yes.
But you're doing your courses in Toronto.
Yes.
Which is part of their campus there. Did many people at the campus, do they come from, I guess they all come from the Toronto region, generally speaking?
You can. I personally live in Milton, so I'm probably one of the further west students, but I think a lot of people do come from this kind of core Toronto area, or in some cases they may work here, and so it's easy to get to after work because classes are Friday nights and Saturday all day. And so if you're working in the downtown area, then it's really easy to get to, just because it's right at Bay and University and Bay.
University.
Yeah.
Did you find the demographic of that class a little bit different than what you might find on the campus? Like, for example, were people, full-time working and a little bit older, or?
Everybody's full-time working.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure 99.9% are. I wasn't for a year, but most people are full-time working. And so in that sense, it's good because you're all on the same page. You all have work and school that you're doing and balancing. Whereas in Waterloo, they have a full-time program that you could do your MBA full-time, as well as they also have a part-time program in Waterloo as well. But
now, one of the interesting parts of your story is that you felt that doing your MBA while having your child gave you something for yourself.
Yes.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, being a first-time mom and you all of a sudden are at home and you're used to working, full-time, so you're out in the world and talking with adults, and then you have a newborn, that can be a shell shock to the system. And so I felt that and I didn't appreciate it fully until I was actually in it.
Okay.
But having that to myself, that it was still kind of in the adult world, if you will, and so to speak in the work world, because you're researching, you're working on projects. It's academia, but it's still getting out there and investigating things. I felt that was something that was for me, and on the days that I did have class or a presentation, then got out for a couple hours, and you need the break, or you can go a little at home alone with an
Do you think it made you a better student?
Well, it definitely improved my time management skills. Absolutely, because you have an infant who's dependent upon you, and so that has to be your number one priority, because they can't really wait for a lot of their needs. But at the same time, you've got obligations to your team, to your group, to your schoolwork. And so I definitely found that my time management skills improved. There was an added benefit. You wanted to get your schoolwork done so that you can have fun with, my family now, right?
Of course.
And especially since we're returning to work, I have found my time management skills have definitely improved. I still procrastinate. I mean, I think everybody does. But, I'm finding I'm using lunches to catch up on reading or work on things versus, spending that time just doing something else. I just figure I should maximize it.
What advice would you have for a person or a woman thinking about going into an MBA program? I mean, obviously you went for it and you took that chance, but what lessons have you learned that one big one that you would suggest women consider when they think about this if they're going to have a family?
I would say that it's with your partner, it's a joint decision, because my husband's been so supportive of this, but a lot of it falls on him, especially on the weekends.
Right.
I'm there when I was on mat leave. I was there during the week, obviously, but then nighttime would come, and I've had group meetings I had to go to, group projects that had to be done, and so it was kind of like, here you go, I got to go do this. Or even if it wasn't somewhere I had to be for school, I'd have to go up and do my homework or work on something. And so just having that support and knowing that this is going to be a joint effort, 100%, is, I would say, the biggest lesson and advice I would give, is that you really have to talk about it amongst you and your partner, just because it's going to affect you both. Right. And it adds that added stress on the other person as well.
So it sounds to me like it's very much a family decision then.
Oh, I would say in our case it definitely was. We both decided that we wanted to start a family. At that time. Obviously, I'm the one who was still in school, and during my pregnancy, there wasn't a big change. A little more tired. But during that time, there wasn't a big change. But it was after the fact that we're both new to this, and yet we have this added complexity to our lives. So,
when do you graduate?
I guess graduation would be in the fall, but my classes officially end beginning of July.
Oh, okay, so you're close to finishing then.
I'm very close.
You say that with a certain amount of relief.
Yeah, 3 years is a long time to be doing it. I mean, it's great because it allows you to take what you're learning and apply it over a period of time, especially in the work world or where have you. But it's a long process that takes a lot out of you, and so I'm looking forward to being done.
Well, congratulations! It's a great feat. It's wonderful to be able to do that and have a child and balance all of this. And
thank you,
Sarah Costa. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.